Don't budge. I'm looking for Brian Burnham.
Just leave me be, stranger.
Something's coming. Anything walk like this.
Do you know the Burnham lad? He worked...
Can't say I noticed what you're saying, stranger.
Washington Street.
I'm old, brave, in an ocean blue, and the ship that loves the lies. With a good wine piping, with a good wind piping early in the tall and gallant mass. Ah, my boys, these are the joys of the noble and the brave, who love life in the tempest strife and a home on the mountain wave. When the driving rain of the hurricane puts the lights of the lighthouse out, and the growling thunder sounds his gong, and the whirlwinds battle out. Ha ha! Do you think that's the valiant shrink? No, we were bold and brave. And we
A seedy-looking bar called the Garden. Unfortunately, it's shut.
The storm of the mountain wave. The timbers creak and the seabirds shriek. There's lightning, young blast. Hard to... Who's that there? Oh, can you spare a few pennies, young mister? I can give you something for your generosity.
Who are you?
Zadok, that be my name. Though too few years it now. Zadok Allen.
Do you know a Brian Burnham?
Just a young'un. Worked over the store. He's gone. Killed, I reckon.
Killed? What makes you think that?
Them's from out of town running a store. Taking business from the Order of Dagon. They'd not accept that.
What else can you tell me about this port?
You just bring old Zadok a bottle of something nice, and old Zadok will fill your ears.
If you pardon my asking, have you lived here in this port all your life?
Last 37 years in old lady Warren's house. Before that, over by a fishing cannery. Cannery.
Old Lady Warren's? You live in the town poorhouse?
Go and fetch me a bottle of something to wet old Zadok's whistle, and I'll tell you all.
What do you know about the variety store robbery, old-timer?
That'd be Tom's old store. Stacked with all sorts of knickknacks and such.
So you know Tom Waits?
I know he took the third oath that I wouldn't. I'd rather die than take that.
What oaths? I don't understand.
Just fetch him a bottle of fine liquor, young fella, and I'll tell you all. Why, you're uncommonly kind, young feller. Here be a little something in gratitude that might help you in your search. Now you be calling me crazy. Like them that's there rumoring and anchoring in Ipswich. But old Zadok's seen all manner of wicked things since before you was born. Old Captain Obed where it all began, telling desperate folks they'd order get better gods, them's that would answer their prayers.
Didn't the Christian folk of Innsmouth object to such blasphemy?
Aye, they did. It were around 46 that many folks in town were done with Obed and his ways. And all that wild preaching and too many missing, you see. A party of good folk followed Captain Obed's crowd out to the reef. Shots were fired. Next day, Obed and 30 of his followers were in jail. And for weeks all were quiet, till that artful night of 46. Them's out outside reckon out it being a riot. But I'd seen them, swarms of them.
Look, old man, I don't have time to listen to these fishing tales.
Was a massacre. The jail thrown open. Mounds of the dead and the dying. Shooting and screaming and shouting all across the town square. Come morning, the mess was cleaned up. Old Obed and his family takes charge, they did. Folks were told to keep shy as strangers if we were knowing what was good for us.
Zadok, who did all this? Who did all...
Said the old captain was now deeper in debt to his heathen gods. They were hankering for more than just sacrificing. Obed told folks they had to take the oaths of Dagon.
What the hell are these oaths?
You just asked old Wes about oaths of Dagon. Aye, he take the third oath. Just head over to his hole in the Dock Street. Then you'll see, for definite.
He's given me a key to the town poorhouse. It could come in handy. Where did Captain Obed Marsh learn of these heathen matters?
In warring foreign parts, the old fool I lent to ways of making gains, doing heathen things. He found a tribe of Kanakis in the South Seas led by a savage. Chief went by a name of Wallachia. And his tribe never went without food, for they had all the fish they could catch. Old Obed learned from his Wallachia that there's things on this earth as most folks never heard about. Seems these Kanakis was worshipping undersea gods, with heaps of human sacrifices and other heathen things. But they was getting all kinds of favors in return. Plenty of fishing and even gold now and then.
Human sacrifices? Maybe you've had just a bit too much.
I don't blame you for not believing it, young fella. But just answer me this. Why did Captain Obed roll out to the reef of Satan and chant a lot of rites and incantations in the dead of night? So loud you could hear them all over the port. He cast something in the water that eve, out the other side of Devil's Reef. some kind of thingamajig crafted out of lead. It was given to him by a Wallachia.
So, what happened?
Well, not long after the smoke started coming out of the chimneys at the old gold refinery, the Marsh family and those that had joined with Obed in his ways started prospering in the esoteric order of Dagon. Came into being with the heathen that shit they do.
What kinds of ceremonies?
Yeah. Get out of here, lad. Don't wait for nothing. They'll know now.
I think he's had his fill for the night. Zadok! Zadok!
Curse you, lad, for staring at me with them eyes. The old Captain Manel, and he's staying there. He can get me. He can't. No, he can't get me. I had nothing done. I ain't done nothing or told nobody nothing.
Are you okay, old-timer?
Huh? Yeah, leave me be.
It's just an advertisement for the local Methodist church. From what I've seen of Innsmouth, I bet they don't get many takers.
Mr. Walters, I must speak with you.
It's Jack. And is there anyone in Innsmouth who doesn't know my name?
My name's Rebecca Lawrence, and unless you want to join Innsmouth's long list of missing, I'd urge you to follow me.
Missing, huh? Like Burnham?
Of that, I'm not sure. You'd be better off asking the Billingham's daughter, Ruth. She was dating Brian.
What? Who's Ruth?
Quickly, you have to follow me. It's not wise to be seen talking to outsiders. Jack, Innsmouth is a strange place. There are things that have no business being here. Foul, reeking things.
Strange. Trust me, I'm good with strange.
That remains to be seen, but I can help you. My father discovered this strange sign while studying an old manuscript. It seems to ward off the more unusual elements in Innsmouth. Whenever you find one, you can use it to find a moment of sanctuary. Now, I must leave before we're seen together.
I've seen that eye-like symbol somewhere before, but never surrounded by a star. The window looks into some old passageway.
Jack, we can't be seen talking together. What is it?
Why do you stay in Innsmouth, Rebecca?
My grandfather, John Lawrence, was editor of the Innsmouth Courier. He was murdered in the slaughter of 46. He had always despised the Marshes and their blasphemous doings, and it was he who led the party out to the reef that night. They arrested Captain Marsh and his order and tossed them in the old jailhouse. A few weeks later, my grandfather was dead. My father saw him die. Him and many others burned alive in the courier's basement.
All the more grounds to leave.
To leave would be to fail my own legacy. I have a duty to protect the good in Innsmouth, at least what little good remains.
She knows plenty, but I need to have a look around myself if I'm gonna crack this case. Rebecca, maybe you know. What happened at the variety store?
Tom Waite's place. The gossip on the streets is that the store safe holds a great treasure. Since the Order got wind of the rumors, they've been desperate to get their filthy hands on it. But it seems they can't get close.
Odd. Do you suppose Burnham knew about it? Maybe he pocketed it before breezing out of town.
I don't know, Jack. He'd only been in town a few months, and we can't be certain he even managed to leave. Ruth Billingham must be involved in all of this somehow. She was desperate for a way out of Innsmouth.
What do you know about her?
Only that she and Brian were close, much to the Order's disapproval. You should speak to Tom Waits. Find out for certain if the treasure's gone.
Where can I find him?
He lives on 803 Dock Street, just by the back of the old town poorhouse.
That bridge spans the Monuxet River. A storage depot. It's shut. Hello, Mackie.
Jack, swell to see you again. Any leads on the Burnham case?
Nope. Did you know the lad at all?
Just pleasantries. Seemed a nice enough fella, if a little rough around the edges. Strange business, though. I'd never have figured him as a crook. The First National was a well-run store, a rare thing here in Innsmouth.
Okay, Mackie. Thanks.
Goodbye, Jack. Be careful what you're doing. Very careful. Innsmouth's a dangerous place. Not everyone who visits here ends up leaving by the old bus route.
This Mackie character knows plenty, but I don't think grilling him for scraps of information is gonna crack this case. I can't open the doors to the cabin. It won't open. It won't open. What do you know about the break-in at the variety store?
Only what was in the press. You should speak to Thomas Waite. He owns the joint.
Where's the store?
It's just on the main square, but it's probably shut now. You should try him at home.
Where's his place?
I think the Waite's house is over on Dock Street, near the back of the poorhouse.
Thanks.
Though I warn you, Innsmouth's driven old Waite's a bit crazy. He doesn't talk a lot of sense.
That's my sort of fella. He sounds just perfect. Won't budge. A standard gasoline pump. This car's seen better days. A device that pumps highly compressed air. It won't open. It's no use. He's totally smoked, and it'll take him all night to sleep that off. Excuse me, Constable. Jack Walters.
Robes. Alien robes. What you want?
Could you help out a stranger to this fine port?
Are you being funny?
No, not at all. I'm looking for a Brian Burnham. He works locally, in the First National grocery store.
Innsmouth don't take too kindly to them from out of town. Get lost, stranger.
What happened here, Constable?
Nothing.
Oh, swell. You can let me pass then?
No. You'll have to go another way.
Constable Ropes.
What you after now?
You ever meet Brian Burnham?
I couldn't rightly say as I remember.
The burglarizing of the First National is big news in the Arkham press. The Burnham lad must be one of your prime suspects. Any luck tracing his whereabouts?
No. That'd be a matter for the Order.
The Order? Isn't this a matter for the police?
Yup. That too.
Who is the Order?
Them's that look after affairs there in Innsmouth. And you'd mind your business not to be asking too many questions.
Seems like the Burnham lad had some doll along for company on this little caper.
All sorts of nonsense and hearsay be gossiped about such affairs.
But there was another robbery at Waite's Variety Store. That much is true?
That's for certain.
How did they break in?
Just down them there steps. Old Tom Waits had locked up for the night.
Right. Thanks. Do you know where I could find Mr. Waits in the evening?
It's getting late. Folks who know what's good for them are generally bolted in their homes by now.
Where's Waits' house?
Look, stranger. Get lost and stop your bothering me with questions.
It's unlocked.
If I see you without fire, I'll report your order.
I'll not say nothing.
I have a strange feeling I'm being watched. Do you know the Burnham lad? He worked in the First National.
Just leave me be, stranger.
Do you know the Burnham lad? He worked in the First National.
Sorry, stranger. I can't help you.
Do you need any help? Disease is rampant in this town. It won't open. Do you know the Burnham lad? He worked in the First National.
Can't say I noticed what you're saying, stranger.
This town's deserted. Where is everybody?
If you don't like it, just turn around and leave.
It's the entrance to the town poorhouse. It won't budge.
Since old Lady Warren's passed away, the food is rotten, but we'll die soon enough.
What are you looking at there, old-timer?
Nothing. I'm just looking. What you doing in old Warren's house, young feller? This hole is for the broke and the dying.
I'm trying to find Dock Street.
It's out back of the house. Everything in Innsmouth is rotten and dying. Windows boarded up, and all sorts of curious barking and crawling around black cellars and attics. How'd you like to be living in a town like this, feller?
I've been to more welcoming places. I don't think he's been outdoors for years. He isn't gonna know anything. That Zadok Allen tells some wild tales.
Aye, Zadok's a troublemaker, I tell you. If he weren't such a drunken old fool, he ought to have sorted him out before now.
Innsmouth must have an intriguing past.
Innsmouth's a historic town, stranger. Plenty of history here.
Do you know anything about the robberies of the two stores in town?
No, can't help you there, fella. I can only tell you what I seen from this here window, and that ain't much of nothing.
This almshouse is home to the old and the destitute. These beds reek of sweat and urine. This almshouse is home to the old and the destitute. Her sleep is restless and erratic. I'm not gonna wake her. The old woman's dead. She must have kicked it a week back. Or more. There's no sign of a struggle or any external injuries. It won't open. It won't budge. Dock Street. Where is everybody? It's very quiet.
It's getting late, outsider. Folks says know what's good for them are safely rowed in their homes by now.
Jesus, those people have been ripped apart. That's why they were cordoning off this tunnel. Jesus, those people have been ripped apart.